everybody. I'm here with Nour Hachem and Layah Omar. It is a niece and auntie combo, so thank you both for coming here today, and thank you, Layah, for skipping school for this. I hope it's and missing recess. We're here today to talk about dreams for young women, and specifically the Build a Dream movement that has been growing. So I want to start with Nour. What was growing up like for you, and how did that influence who you are today?
So I've shared the story a few times with people that I know. And people that know me know that I grew up in a single mother household. I have 3 other siblings. So I kind of watched my mom raising 4 kids on her own, and some of the struggles that comes with being a single mom and not having the support. And I feel that I kind of fell into the work that I do. A couple of years ago, actually now 8 years ago, I was working at Women's Enterprise Skills Training of Windsor, helping women find employment. And I did an analysis in terms of what jobs the women were finding and what was the pay like, because we wanted to essentially get them out of poverty and off of social assistance and into good paying jobs. And what I found is a lot of the work that we were finding our female clients were more precarious work, so very part-time work or minimum wage. Mm-hmm. Yet Windsor is very manufacturing based, and there was a lot of job ads that were talking about welding opportunities and general machinist. Ignorantly at the time, I put together an information session for our clients and thought, maybe if they came in and learned about the skilled trades opportunities, they might be a little bit more eager to apply, because it wasn't the norm to have a woman come in and say, I wanted to become a welder. Mm-hmm. Can you help me find a welding job? Mm-hmm. So sure enough, we did the information session, and one of our female candidates showed up, and none of our other clients came. So it
was one female that came
only
to the
one,
session.
yeah,
okay.
Only one of our clients showed up. So then we started asking questions. Why didn't anyone else show up? What is the percentage of women in the skilled trades? And then we found that only 3% of women across Canada were apprentices in male dominated industries. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of where the conversation started. It started off as a committee and an opportunity for us to do some research to better understand what the outlook and the opportunities would be for females in these occupations, and then recognizing that Windsor had a demand and employers were in dire need of these career options. Not knowing it at the time, but my mom, being a single mom, she had not completed high school. And English was her second language. We immigrated to Canada. I was born in Lebanon, but came here when I was 1. And when my parents divorced, my mom had to enter the workforce for the first time on a full-time basis. She really didn't want us to live on social assistance. She wanted to really set an example for my brothers to show that even when life gets hard, we have to work for we have to work for our living. Mm-hmm. And so she kind of went out into went to go look for work, and she first tried to become a insurance advisor, believe it or not. And she had a good friend that was doing it, so she was helping her kind of sell life insurance, and she was doing really good because my mom's a great salesperson. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, English as a second language, a terminology when it came to do the final test to become an insurance advisor, she was having a hard time completing it. So she told me the story at a later date, but she went to our financial advisor at the bank and was really worried and concerned in terms of our finances and how she was going to raise us on her own. Mm-hmm. And he said, well, Santa, why don't you sell motor oil? Mm-hmm. Because
where did that idea come from?
Well, my dad used to own mechanic shops. And so my mom, although she didn't work, she was around cars and auto shops. She was very familiar with it. And he said, there is an opportunity in the city to sell motor oil and car parts. Why don't you do it? And we had a great friend at the time who really helped my mom get started. So she started selling motor oil from her van. And she would show up at different mechanic shops, and she's like, I'm here to sell motor oil. This is my product.
She just started with a van,
bought some product, and then started going from different shops. And unfortunately, the shops would joke and say, we're not interested in buying olive oil, because olive oil was more connected with a female cooking than motor oil is not really female dominated. And she just refused to take a no. So she kept going back to the same places.
Okay.
And she was very persistent. And then they said, you're not going to go away until we buy something. And she said, yes, I have 4 kids I need to raise and feed. And this is going to be my living. And you're going to help me get there. And she did. So 12 years later, you've seen her her wholesale shop. She supplies from here to Toronto. Her and my brothers, my brother run the company. Together, they have about over 10 employees. They're doing really, really well. She bought us our first home, took us on our first vacation. So then when I kind of reflect back on her story and watching her go through all the challenges and still persisting through, I feel that part of the reason I do the work that I do in empowering women to go into these male-dominated industries is because I don't want any woman to feel that she's not financially secure to have a good life. And I think that that's my ultimate goal in really helping young women make career-informed decisions.
Got it. So tell me about Build a Dream.
Yeah, so Build a Dream is something I live and breathe, as you know. And it's an opportunity for us to empower young women to learn about career opportunities that are significantly underrepresented by females. But more importantly, it's an opportunity for us to shift the conversation around women in work and to really take away the stereotypes when it comes to the areas that we encourage females to pursue. So we've really focused on the skilled trades, the more male-dominated areas. So general machinist, welding, electrical, automotive, transportation. And we've also attract young women into science, technology, engineering, and math, and emergency response. So we've been doing that for the last couple of years, and it started from, I had explained earlier that we did some research to really understand what the landscape and what the numbers were that were out there, and why were females not going into these occupations. And when we did the research, we actually did local research where we talked to young women in Windsor, Essex between the ages of 14 to 25, and we found that parents were the number one influence when it came to career decisions. And we also found that perception still played a key role, that young women still felt there were jobs that they couldn't do because they were female, and that there were jobs that were more male dominated or more masculine. So we really wanted to kind of shift the perception that's out there, educate the parents along with the young women about these opportunities, and really partner with industry, education, community, and government to really all come together to help break down the numbers and encourage more young women to pursue these occupations. So it started a couple of years ago in partnership with a number of great organizations in Windsor area, including Women's Enterprise Skills Training of Windsor, Workforce Windsor Essex, all three school boards, the Greater Essex County District School Board, the Windsor Essex Catholic District School Board, Conseil Scolaire Providence and Conseil Scolaire Viamont, and the University of Windsor and St. Clair College. Quite a bit, you could see that a lot of partners had to come to the table in order for this to make it happen.
And it's been growing for years now, which I have seen. And I'm curious to hear, Layah, when was your first time at Build a Dream, the event?
The first time was when
Yeah. You went to the Build a Dream event this year, right? In Windsor? What was that like?
it was good.
It was good. Do you have a favorite part?
I hurt myself.
You hurt yourself with the hammer? Have you played with a hammer before? No. Okay. Well, that's why you hurt yourself. And we
had hands-on activities.
Yes.
Yeah. To explain, we don't
hand out hammers. Yes.
We don't just hand out hammers. It was hands-on activities so young women can really get exposure to some of these careers.
And I heard that you have a dream, and I'm curious to hear about what your career dreams are.
I wanted to be a doctor and prime minister.
You wanted to be, I at first thought she was saying doctor or prime minister, but you want to be a doctor and prime minister, right? So how is that going to happen?
At starting, I'm going to be a doctor and then prime minister.
When are you going to be the prime minister?
After I'm done being.
When you're done. Oh, done being a doctor. You're not going to do both. Okay, got it. And so I heard that you shared this story, Nour, on stage. And there was a politician at the event who made a promise. Can you say a promise?
He did say it was a campaign promise.
Okay, good.
He did say it was a campaign promise. And I had talked about Layah's dreams, because one of the things that I really am very attentive to and careful is the messaging that I give to my nieces. I have two nieces, Amina and then Layah. And I'm very conscientious in terms of how I the attributes I associate them with. So I often tell Layah, you're so smart, you're going to be a leader, you're so strong, because I think those are important messaging that young girls need to hear. And anyways, I was sharing her story in terms of what she wanted to be when she grows up. And on a different day, she might actually also share that she wants to be an engineer and a builder, because at age 6, the world is filled with possibilities.
Are you 6 years old?
Mm-hmm.
What grade are you in?
2.
2? Do you talk a lot about careers or jobs when you're at school? No, not really. What got it. So what are some of your favorite toys right now? It's a good time to say because holidays are coming up. Dolls. Got it. And hammers sometimes. If you're careful. What do you hope that people? So I was just at the event for the first time for the full time in London, which is super exciting that this is like breaking into a new city. Which I think it's one thing to do an event, yearly. You see a lot of those locally, but that's an exciting step. And I'm just so my excitement about where this is going to grow. But now, after all the years that you've been doing this, what do you really hope that people leave with after they go through this event? After they've seen the speakers, and it's funny because I saw it for the first time. I was taking photos, and the girls were kind of. One of them was like covering her face because she was embarrassed to like be somewhere with her parents. They're in high school. And then by the end of it, they have the hats on, the fidget spinners. Like they're like taking photos with the hammers. You know what I mean? They're just loving it, and it's funny just to see their even just their the way they carry themselves change. And I'm curious to know, what do you hope that people take from this event?
I definitely hope that they're empowered and encouraged to believe that anything is possible. I talked to some of the young women at the event, which was great for me because it was the first time I actually had the chance to see people as they left. And so many young women came to me and said that, and they share, they were like, I was a little bit hesitant coming through. And then now I feel so excited and so empowered. And the advice I got from the female mentors and the panelists really encouraged me to believe that anything is possible. And ultimately, at the end of the day, Build a Dream is about exposing young women to all career opportunities, no matter what the numbers tell us. I think it's important for young women to believe that should they want to be an engineer, a scientist, a programmer, an electrician, the opportunities are there, and employers are welcoming, and educators are supportive, and parents are going to influence their daughters to go down any career pathway that's going to make them happy. And that's, at the end of the day, if a young woman walks out thinking she does or doesn't want to pursue any of these careers, she now has the tools to make that decision on her own. And ultimately, that's what we want people to walk out of Build a Dream with.
Got it. So, could I ask you? I wish there was 3 hats, but I can let you put them on.
Yeah, do you want to put one on? Do you want to put? I should have probably brought the hat,
okay.
and then we'll have Layah put on a hat.
So, we have these great hats.
So, can I tell you the story about this hat?
Yeah, please.
Okay, because I remember getting the call that we were getting these hats, and I cried because how often do you see purple hard hats?
No, yeah.
Never.
Well,
we've seen pink hard hats, but
okay.
I've never seen purple hard hats. And the importance of these hard hats is one of our biggest goal is to partner with industry. Because in order for us to really make this shift, industry has to come on board and diversify and embrace it and diversify the workforce. Yeah. So we called Windsor Factory Supply, WFS, and talked to them about the Build a Dream movement and wanted to see if they would be a sponsor. They called us back and they said that they wanted to be a national sponsor, and they wanted to sponsor hard hats to every young woman that would be coming to our event in 2017. And it's more than just a hard hat for me. Yeah. It's an opportunity for young women to go home, put this hard hat on their door in their bedroom, and every morning wake up, look at this symbol, and think, I really could be anything I want when I grow up. Because I was just exposed to all these different opportunities. And we are forever thankful for WFS. They've come on board, and they're such a great partner, along with a lot of other industry partners that are at the table. And what I find is they don't only just come to our event, they want to be engaged and working hand in hand with us on this movement. And that's why we know we're doing the right thing. And it was definitely amazing being in London, because I think I just shared this with you. It's one thing to host it in the comfort of your own home. Windsor is my home. But it's another thing for something to work outside of your city and to know that you're on the right direction. So Build a Dream will be going on the road in 2018. Who knows? You might see a purple bus. We don't know. But quite honestly, we want to empower as many communities as we can and bring together educators, employers, community, and parents and their daughters to come be exposed and empowered to consider any career option.
Crazy. So I have a couple final questions. What is your vision for this?
Oh, big.
Yeah.
I definitely, I do believe it's going to, I always say national, but I've started to believe it might go across North America. I want to be able to influence millions of young women. I want to share the stories of other females that have been extremely successful down their career path. But more importantly, I want to see real change happening in industry. So my vision is that when people think of Build a Dream, they think of it as an organization that's going to shift the way we see women in work. And that in years to come, when we look at the numbers, we're going to see an increase of women going into these occupations. And that we're going to see more inclusive and diverse working environments. So I have definitely big dreams for Build a Dream.
Yeah.
And I'm just so thankful to everyone that helps make it happen, because it's definitely not just my vision, but it's just shared vision that we've been able to bring so many people on board to make it happen.
Well, thank you for coming in today. And Layah, thank you for missing recess for this. And I will be happy to see when you first meet the Prime Minister and later become the Prime Minister when the role is available.
Yes. So Prime Minister Trudeau, you have a soon-to-be Prime Minister right here that's really excited to meet you. So we would love to be invited
absolutely.
To come and meet you and some of the female cabinet members.
And final question, how can people get involved and where can they learn more?
Yeah, so we have a great website, and it's called www.webuildadream.com. And we have an email at info@webuildadream.com. So people are more than welcome to email us and let us know how they would like to be engaged, because we are looking for partnerships. We're looking for sponsors. We're looking for volunteers. I neglected to mention, but we've officially incorporated as a not-for-profit. Yeah. So we are an organization that is growing. We are looking for people that would be interested in joining our movement to come on board and be a part of our team.
Great. Is there anything else that either of you want to share? Okay. Any final message?
Yeah, I recently read a quote that has really stuck with me. And they say that girls with dreams become women with vision. And I think it's very important for all of us to remember that. And that no matter how crazy a dream may sound, that if we empower them to pursue that dream and provide them access to the right resources, tools, and network, you never know what that young woman will do with her dream.
Got it. And we look forward to seeing your dream come into a vision and into reality, Layah. This is Layah Omar and Nour Hachem. Thank you very much for joining us. And we'll see you in the next episode.